Hello everybody and welcome to yet another edition of the Diversified Semantic Layer. For those lucky enough to see us, we are live in Bangkok on the 37th floor, I think. We do a little sneak peek behind here for the haters. That is Bangkok over there. And just in case, we're right there with the camera, just in case people are questioning that we are not working, I will have everyone know that today via FaceTime I helped my wife set up a new modem with 3 screaming kids in the background, so it's been exceptionally stressful. But anyway, back to the podcast. So I'm joined, if you are watching, with Sam Wong from SAP. Sam's been with SAP. I will let her introduce herself for a couple of months now, and I think it's time for her to be welcome to the region and the Diversified Semantic Layer. Welcome, Sam.
Thank you. Yeah, so welcome. Hi, everyone. Sam Wong from sunny Vancouver, Canada. I moved over to Singapore 8 months ago to help with a regional role, so covering Asia Pacific Japan. Very happy to be here.
Cool. So what's your role now in SAP in APJ?
Yeah, so technically I'm a senior solution manager. That's my external title. Internally we call it the Center of Excellence. Responsible for the go-to-market strategies and helping customers in this region with BI and predictive analytics and how they adopt that, how they move into the digital economy with our solutions, and helping them with any questions they have on that.
And in terms of regions, are you being APJ, is that the whole of Asia Pacific, or are there any regions that you excluded, just for the people out there?
Yeah, so anywhere from between India and New Zealand is essentially my territory.
Okay.
China's actually been split out. China used to be a part of Asia Pacific Japan, but now it's Greater China as its own region.
Cool. So do you spend any time in Singapore, or are you basically on an airplane?
I basically live on an airplane. I try to spend some time in Singapore. I try to have a personal life. But I'm almost at gold status after 8 months of being here, which is great.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
We'll see you in the lounge. It's one of the very few perks of traveling. Or actually, it's all right.
Yeah.
So while we're in Bangkok at the moment, as I mentioned, we've just been on a bit of a speaking tour, or 2 cities, Singapore and obviously Bangkok today. It's been great, getting to chat to the local customers.
Yeah.
As always, from an audience perspective, pretty quiet in sessions with some really, really good discussions outside and after sessions. So any sort of nuggets from customers over the last sort of 2 to 3 days that sort of struck you?
Yeah, thinking about it, I mean, coming from a North American market unit, and moving over to Asia and moving over to Singapore, we see a lot of customers who are on really, really old versions of BI, who aren't aware of the new innovations, and frankly, because of that, aren't excited about moving.
Yeah.
So they come to these sessions to learn more, to see what's happening, and how they can actually benefit from the new innovations. I found it very interesting. I actually connected with someone in Singapore who was in a very specialized industry around the Air Force and aerospace industry, talking about how they could use predictive analytics in terms of monitoring their equipment, how they build some of their assets, how long their assets last. Really, really cool conversations around that piece. And I think you spoke to a few Thai customers today too.
It was quite interesting, yeah. So I did a session today on 4.2 and wider move and all the the best practices, and covered some case studies, and which was quite interesting from the local Thai market today was a lot of the customers here were already HANA customers and looking at sweeten HANA. So the discussion, even though it was a business objects topic, was, well, do we go BW and HANA, or do we go sweeten HANA? So it was pretty encouraging from a market. They're definitely looking at the S4 bandwagon. Marketing's obviously working. But as you hit the nail on the head from an analytics perspective. A lot of what I picked up, XI, probably a lot of 6.5 out there. Not a lot of people seem to be on 4.2, which for me is, and I don't know if you can maybe talk to this, is that a case of the business objects customers being old sort of Bobjet people who haven't resonated with SAP, or what do you think it is?
I'm not really sure, but I can definitely tell you that outside of sort of the BI manager IT role, people don't even understand that they're using business objects.
Yeah.
I told Clint the other day, I went to a customer and saw them, and he said, we use the BO, and I said, what clients do you use in the BO? And they said, no, we use the BO. So it's very interesting. I think just the level of maturity in this market unit isn't there.
Yep.
And to be quite frank, this market unit has always had a real platform kind of conversation. So they're very well aware of HANA. They're really well aware of S4 because of marketing, but we haven't had that analytics push here with marketing. I think you're seeing that this year with the analytics reimagined campaign.
Okay, brilliant. So just because every DSLayered podcast is complete without me mentioning Cyber SIQ. obviously good for I still think that bundle is underutilized. I think it's great for customers getting free IQ, free DI, free Power, Power Designer. Power, not Power Designer. No, not Power Designer. Yes, Power Designer. No. So I'm thinking of Power Builder. See, Power Builder is if you're as old as I am, that's what I studied in university a couple of decades ago, and it's a thick client tool developed by Sybase where you can actually write front-end applications. So it's very similar to VB. But anyway, it was another Sybase tool, and that's how I actually got into Sybase. A little history lesson about me there. But I think it's a very compelling offering for customers, especially if they're non-classic SAP customers running BW. They've got the various database competitors out there. So just changing tack quickly to cloud, and I know you and I spoke about this in Singapore, is obviously Business Objects Cloud, XC4A, SAP renaming, very strange. From a deployment perspective, running on HTTP only. I mean, that's just the way it is, and from an architecture point of view, I understand that. In region, from a data center point of view, data governance, data sovereignty in Singapore is a big thing. How have your customers that have sort of looked at HTTP, look at Cloud for Business Objects Cloud, how have they sort of approached that, and what's the general feel in region about cloud?
Originally when the Business Objects Cloud solution was launched, which was actually last year, the end of last year, the response in the region, at the end of the day, there's no data centers within the Asia Pacific Japan region outside of Sydney. It was just impossible for our customers to move. And that's something that we're addressing internally. We're building those data centers up. Next to be launched is Tokyo in September, and we're pushing the global team to make sure we build those HCP data centers or somehow leverage our existing ones in region, so we can help our customers move to the cloud right now, because especially in public sector, especially in specialized industries, it's just not going to work to have their data transferred through a pipe all the way over to Sydney. We talked a little bit today about how we can get around that and some workarounds, and that workaround essentially is HANA. So being able to stream your data behind your company's firewall through reverse proxy into the cloud allows those customers to start their cloud journey. But it's not enough. We definitely want to support our customers if they want to move fully to cloud, and you're going to see those HCP data centers being built. It's just on the roadmap. This is my favorite answer.
It's on the road. Okay, you might hear it first here on the DSLayered, as always. So something that first time to Bangkok, and what really surprised me, and I think my connotation of Bangkok's probably the hangover, which was weird. And for those naysayers, I was in bed early last night, so we were here working.
Very good. We were tame.
It's an enormous city. It really is a lot bigger than, and I think that's what struck me, is just the size and the scale of it. If you can see behind us there, from an SAP ecosystem, what's the footprint like here? Is it really big, or is it just a huge opportunity for you as a company in Thailand in general?
I would say Thailand in general is definitely not the biggest market unit even in Southeast Asia. We see a lot of business come more from Singapore, from Indonesia. But I think after the conversations today, we had a bunch of customers in the room. We had more customers today in Thailand than in Singapore.
Standing room only, baby. Standing room only.
Yeah, people were sitting in the back, and I think I was just talking to my manager Steve Van Rick about this, who's the analytics sales leader for APAC. I think it's because they're just hungry here. We haven't paid enough attention to them. They're still very much on Excel. And I talked to a customer today that has 1,600 employees, and all they do is use Excel and maybe some AC Nielsen market research data. But there's a huge opportunity. We just need to pay attention, I think, and devote resources to this country. Bangkok's huge. There's tons of customers here.
As I said, I'm still quite taken back by that. So from a we talk about, I mentioned the desktop BI wall a lot, and all the various tools. From a APJ perspective, what do you think in ANZ we're having some good success with Lumira, especially coming towards the platform. A lot of customers using that. As I mentioned, we've got Greg and part of our team did a benchmark, and it's looking really good from a scale point of view. What's the uptake from a Southeast Asia specific rather than ANZ from Lumira, in your opinion? Are people trying it out? Are they starting to play, or still behind the curve?
I think especially in Southeast Asia, we're behind the curve. And it's I think a bit of an Asian culture thing too. Customers like to have printable items in front of them, PDFs in front of them. And so Crystal and Webby are really prominent here. The uptake on Lumira hasn't been too high, I'd say. But we're looking to change that. Customers as well, if we don't necessarily go and see them all the time and tell tell them about the newest innovations, can pick up a credit card and buy something online as well and get started there. So I think the uptake isn't there, but with the new roadmap changes and sort of the Lumira and Design Studio convergence, I think customers are going to be very, very intrigued by that. And they're going to start to take a look at that solution again, especially because it's probably included in some other old places.
So has there been, just two questions come to mind, but has there been any feedback from customers about the convergence of Lumira Design Studio, or they're still too far behind the curve to have a noticeable effect for them?
Yeah, I mean, the response in ANZ is positive. People love it. IT's feeling the pain of people prototyping in a different agile vendor visualization and saying, build this as my enterprise dashboard. I haven't had too many of those conversations in Southeast Asia, to be quite frank. But when you tell people about the idea and where the ideal use cases are there, that's where the excitement comes. So.
And the second one was the renaming of Business Objects Cloud.
Yeah.
And we give you guys a lot of grief about renaming stuff. The acronym is BOC. I'm going to TM it, by the way, Business Objects Cloud. C4A is now BOC. I mentioned in my talk today about the perception as a business objects as a business objects person in the SAP world. Business objects often, the perception was didn't feel the love, and now that business objects is front and center and is the naming and the brand going forward, it's pretty exciting. What's your perception, or what's the feedback you've got from customers? Is it, I know you've renamed it again, or that's cool, we're happy with business objects?
Yeah, I mean, again, you hit the nail on the nose there with business objects customers, classic customers being very happy that it's going back to the business objects branding. Even I was actually really surprised that we named our predictive analytics solutions and our business planning consolidation solutions out of the same branding, which I think goes back to when Bob J had those, strategy management solutions and those sorts of things. I personally think Cloud for Analytics was an awesome name because even Gartner's recognizing the difference between traditional BI and sort of agile future BI, and I think Cloud for Analytics set that product apart. Renaming it Business Objects Cloud gives it a really good brand, and we can leverage that brand. But I think customers are if they're looking for something new, the Business Objects Cloud name doesn't necessarily shout out at you like Cloud for Analytics.
So my initial, I had two emotions when I heard that. First, Business Objects is here to stay. Yep. Do you want to move into the shade, by the way?
No, okay.
It's
Am I sweating that much?
It's pretty hot here in Bangkok. That might be a full break halfway through. Cut. So the first thing is, Business Objects is here to stay. Business Objects in the keynote in Sapphire. That's
huge.
Okay. That's big.
Yeah.
But the second thing was more for, both as a partner who has to implement the stuff and you as SAP, was the perception of customers saying, well, it's Business Objects Cloud, I want my Webby report to run in the cloud. And I think from an education point of view, you do a really good job in terms of saying, well, and cloud is different. Cloud is not business objects. It's built from the ground up for cloud. Yeah. So it can be a cloud application, and it really is a different use case of where you want to use cloud.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's very, very important from an SAP perspective. Just in case you haven't heard, Open SAP, the Cloud for Analytics, Business Objects Cloud course came out this week or whatever it was. Yep. So sign up for it, it's free. I've done the first week so far, and the content looks pretty good. So definitely do that. So from a cloud, let's cloud.
Business
I think we need to do a drinking game. Every time I say that, I have to drink something. I might miss my flight tonight. But as Business Objects Cloud, it's good to know that the hybrid model now is in place.
Oh yeah.
So for those unaware, you can connect to your universe through Business Objects Cloud, and there's also something else. I don't know what it's called, but it's basically a HANA data store where you can import your own data models into HCP.
Yep.
I know it's very, very soon, but are any customers starting to look at that? I'm personally putting a presentation together, starting to play with the whole hybrid model. Has there been much talk about that, or do you need a new phone? That was a phone.
No, yeah, it's I think it's really exciting, the hybrid model. It's getting our customers started in the cloud, giving the agility to business users, but still satisfying those classic BI use cases like operational reporting, like being able to slice and dice your data, drill down. Actually, we had a customer in India just recently purchased the HCP backend, which is basically HANA database as a service.
Yes.
And integrate from their third-party database into that HCP instance with our HANA Cloud Integrator and running Business Objects Cloud on top of that. Okay. So once they've got that ready up and going, they're going to start to connect to their on-premise BI as well through universes now. That's really, so we're seeing it, and it's happening in places like India, which is awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, India is still, in my opinion, an emerging market.
Yeah.
So come on, let's get it going in Australia.
So if you're an Aussie and you come to the SORC Summit, which please do in I think it's September in Sydney, I'll be doing exactly that.
Awesome.
I'll be doing the hybrid cloud that's a dream. I'll be doing the hybrid business objects cloud
4, 5, 6.
I'll be doing the hybrid business object cloud presentation, which is connecting to universes and bringing data in. So if you are in Sydney, pop in and say hi. So where can people get hold of you, Sam? I dare to say, and I can edit this out if it's wrong, but from what I've picked up as part of the COE, you're pretty much free to customers to engage with, to get advice, to help them with roadmap. Where can people find you? How can people connect with you? What's the best, through the AE or direct or?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you have an account manager and you're well aware of them, absolutely talk to them about business objects and predictive analytics. Feel free to name drop me, Sam Wong, and I'm happy to come and visit you and talk about some of the theories and the roadmaps. If you want to email me directly, it's sam.lea.wong@sap.com. You can find me on Twitter too, SAP Samlia Wong. I'm everywhere, all over the internet.
Okay. Yeah. And just remember, as my dear friend the Jamie Oswald experience said, the internet is forever.
Yeah.
So some of us are careful. We're not careful what we put out there. Cool. So any closing thoughts as we wrap up our 2-day whirlwind tour of Southeast Asia?
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. It's hot. It's so hot to think. I'm like sweating. Yeah, it's been an awesome journey, and there's some really exciting new stuff coming with the SAP BI portfolio. Better integration into all the other components that you're seeing in SAP. So that integration started with S4, the digital boardroom, integrating with predictive analytics as well. Analytics is at the end of the day the core of the digital transformation, in my opinion. So we're seeing a lot of exciting stuff come out, a lot of push, a lot of innovations. Make sure you keep your eye out for us, and don't forget about SAP BI. We're not being left in the shadows.
So a key point there. I want to know that I will tell Steve that you hit your 1 KPI because you mentioned digital transformation, which is amazing. Sorry, that's a tagline. Well done.
Check.
Yeah, okay. What did you do in Bangkok? I mentioned digital transformation.
I talked about it a little bit. Just a little bit.
And which is, when you talk about BI, I think Timo Elliott put out another post that for 9 out of 10 years, analytics is still the top priority for CIOs.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing, but then it's, as you mentioned, in this region, it kind of gets left behind. So yeah, we're here, people, and ready to help. Sam, thank you very much. Welcome to the DSLayered.
Thanks.
Hopefully this is not the first and last time.
It's my debut.
Your debut. This is a big day. You are now officially global, and I will put sort of anything that we've mentioned on the call. I'll put it in the post. I'll put Sam's connection detail. Don't stalk her, but I'm sure she's happy to help. And thanks so much for watching.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Bye.
This podcast is hosted and sponsored by EV Technologies. Visit us on the net at savethecms.com.